Hey Visalia, so I'm going to do a brief recording, maybe 10 minutes or so, on oligopolies. And I think I actually have another one in there, but so oligopolies are, the economic term is when you have, probably like 4 to 5 companies that control the majority of the market. And so some examples would be the cellular. So you have number 1, AT&T. Number 2 is Verizon. And then I think Sprint. And then T-Mobile, right? And you've got a bunch of subsidiaries. You've got some little guys, Boost. Some of them are owned by these guys, but they control the majority of the market. So that's what we call an oligopoly, where I think together they're close. Compare this to a monopoly, where obviously mono, or one controls the majority, the vast. It doesn't have to be the entire market, but it has to be a significant amount, to the point that that one monopoly has market power. So, which means that they have control on pricing and the supply to the marketplace. So the example for the monopoly would be like Google and Facebook. Obviously they're just in MySpace. Gab, if you're looking for free speech online, there's Gab. But Google has the monopoly on YouTube. I mean, I don't know of any other video sharing service. I'm sure there's probably one out there, but Google has a search monopoly. It is the definition, or they say internet search, we say Google. So they have the probably 90% of the search market, something like that. If Google were to disappear, what would people do? People would be lost. That's kind of a good way to think of it. Now with cellular, you have competing industries. So each one is significant enough to where the other people have to be concerned with what that person does. I like to use cellular because T-Mobile, they came out a couple of years ago. I've been to them like 16 years, so I was one of the newer guys. But my wife's with AT&T. I have a free line here. She won't give up AT&T because why? I don't know. She just likes spending money, I guess, on nothing at all. So, but she likes the service AT&T provides. They have better indoors. So, they actually are different carriers. AT&T has a better indoor service. Verizon is good out in the middle of nowhere. My dad has property up in, it's called Valley, town of 100 people. I don't think there's really that many people there, but it says 180 on the sign, and it's about 20 years old. So Sprint, I don't know. When I was 18, I got a Sprint cell phone. It was terrible, but that was a long time ago, so they're much better. And then T-Mobile, the thing that they did is they got rid of contracts. They came up with Two-Mobile Tuesdays. They came up with some of the very innovative. And the reason it mattered, so if this were just like perfectly competitive industries, there'd be a million of them, and nobody would care what anybody else did. So T-Mobile's one of a million, they do whatever, they start giving phones away, other people laugh at them and say, who cares, right? But because there's only 4 of them, and they each control a significant enough share, that they have to be concerned with what T-Mobile does. So when T-Mobile ended contracts, all these other guys said, OS, right? We gotta end contracts. They got rid of contracts. They went to like a Verizon Wednesday or something like that. They really started to follow what T-Mobile did. And the reason they did is they feared losing market share to T-Mobile. T-Mobile's growing dramatically, enormously. They're right down the road from where I am. T-Mobile's really growing, so I'm not going to pitch for them because, I don't know, I would complain about their service inside the building, but, they were the first ones to provide. Well, I had a company they bought out. 2004, I went to Hawaii, and I got to take my cell phone with me. It was free nationwide service. That was pretty much unheard of. T-Mobile now, free nationwide service. I think they were one of the first to do that. T-Mobile has free internet all around the world. Like, AT&T and stuff, you go into Canada or Mexico, and you play on your phone for a little while, you get back and you get this huge bill, right? I've been to Mexico, I've been to Europe, I've been to China. Didn't cost me a penny. It's fantastic, right? And that is a competitive advantage they have against these guys. And these guys are probably worried about things like that. If you go back and forth a lot, you know, it's a good thing to have. So in it, that's the thing with the oligopoly, is each individual firm, because they're big enough and their competitors are big enough to have some kind of market power, they have to be concerned with not only what they do and how they'll react, but what, you know, the competitors do and that causes them to react. So this is in a perfectly competitive firm, you don't, or even a monopolistically competition, you don't care what others do. Monopoly, you don't really care what others do. There's not really anybody else, right? So they don't care what other people do. They just do what they think is best for them. In this case, though, they act in a way in which they take into account what their competitors are likely to do. And typically there's like a demand curve that looks something like this. So you got your demand, and it might go, it's a kink, right? Something like that. So quantity and price. And this is a point at which they decide whether or not they want to do a price change, right? Or some kind of market action. And if let's say they lower their price, and if they lower their price, okay, and here you see not a big deal, a change in demand curve, right? This is lowering their price. Right? So if they decide to lower their price, so say one of these companies wants to lower their price in order to gain market share, right? Increase the number of people that are in their company, so people that will buy their product. So if they lower their price and everybody else follows along, so this is I think this is actually a revenue curve. So what's going to happen to revenue? Your total revenue, right? What's going to happen to total revenue if you change your price here? It's going to fall pretty dramatically, right? If other companies, your competitors, also lower their price, that gives you no significant advantage. All you're doing is lowering your price on everything. You sell the same amount, so no increase in quantity, even though we've lowered that price, right? People don't care because everybody else lowered their price. They followed along. So we've really kind of lost revenue. Okay, but if you lower your price and other competitors do not follow along, you could actually increase revenue. So here's going back to price, right? They might have an actual increase in revenue. So we have to get them up with a revenue graph, but revenue might go something like that. So that is the idea that if you're in this goes to elasticity too. Remember back in elasticity, if you have an inelastic curve and you lower your price, there's no reason to do that because you'll actually lose revenue. But if you have an inelastic curve, that is people are reactive, and people will only be reactive if you're the only guy to lower your price. So only T-Mobile lowers the price of their phone lines. They can attract more people to their market, and they can make up for a lower price for more demand, right? More larger quantity. So they might see an increase in total revenue because they lower their price, and by lowering, even though they're lowering the price, they've increased the quantity, right? So lowering your price, and so again, this kink here is determined by whether they no reaction versus they all follow along. Right? So if all your competitors react, do everything you do, you're going to lose a lot of revenue by lowering your price. You could go the other way. If you increase your price, and you might actually have lose significantly more, right? So if you increase your price and everybody follows along, nobody cares, everybody makes more money. Okay? But if you increase your price and you get a big drop off, you have no increase in revenue because everybody else followed along as well, right? Here. So, but if you increase your price, and you have everybody follows, you might not matter, right? But if you increase your price and everybody else lowers their price, or does not follow along, you're actually going to have a loss of customer base. So again, let's say one of these guys in Spring increases the price of phones, everybody else says, no, we're not going to increase price, we're going to take advantage of this and build market share. Spring would have a decrease in total revenue because they lose a lot of market share. A lot of their customers leave and go to a place that's cheaper, right? That's the idea. Now, with a cell phone, it's kind of difficult. It's easier now that you own your phone number. So years ago, the government made it so that you own your phone number. It used to be, if you left, you wouldn't be able to take your phone number with you, which made it more difficult. Think about that, right? So if you can't take your phone number with you, it makes you less reactive to price changes, right? But if you can, you're probably more reactive, because you might think, I've had my phone number for 10 years, and oh, the hassle it's going to be to change my phone number. I have to go online and let all my banks know, I have to tell all my friends. It's a big pain in the butt, right? So, with oligopolies, the key here is no collusion, okay? So if these guys get together and they decide, you know what, let's get together, and there have been a lot of examples of this. The Leroy Miller book talks about them, I think. There was an example. I was in England in 2007, and I read a story about British Airways and Virgin were colluding on fuel surcharge, and Virgin just tattled on them. They ratted them out, and Virgin didn't get any penalty, but British Airways got a $1 billion fine, right? And that's because collusion is very much illegal. The reason is if these guys collude and they all get together in a room and they say, hey, let's increase our prices together, everybody increases their prices. They are acting as, so again, they hold a significant market share, and if they act in unison, they are acting like a monopoly, right? And that's why they build a lot of collusion. The big thing that comes out of this type of market is the famous, well, we get into it with the prisoners one. It's called game theory. So if you ever watched, what is it, Beautiful Mind? It's a Beautiful Mind. It's is it Beautiful Mind? A Beautiful Mind? I forget the name of it, but Russell Crowe. Good movie. It's about the mathematician that came up with the idea of game theory. So in the movie, he's with his friends at the bar. A beautiful blonde and her brunette friends come in, and one of the guys, his friends, is like, "Hey, let's go dance with these girls. I got the blonde." He comes up. He says, "Wait a minute, no, we can't. If we all go after the blonde, she's going to turn us all down. She can't dance with 6 people at the same time. And then we're going to go to her brunette friends, and they don't want to play second fiddle. They don't want to be, cast off. So they say they turn us down too. So what we do is we coordinate our actions so that we can maximize our pleasure, if you will, dancing." According to the movie, what he says is we go past the blonde and straight to brunettes, and they're so excited that we ignored the blonde girl, which is the popular girl that everybody wants to dance with. They are excited that we went past them and went straight to them, that they all dance with them, and according to him, we all get laid, right? That's what he says. So that's what game theory is. And game theory is the prisoner's dilemma is if you watch Law and Order. What we know of Law and Order is they have the criminals they think are guilty. Usually they don't have enough evidence. If the guys keep their mouths shut, they got nothing to worry about, right? So You've got prisoner one, P1, he no plead, right? No plead. So he pleads guilty. What they're telling him, they're telling prisoner one, if you don't plead, and neither one of you guys plead, we'll charge you with obstruction or something, you'll get 1 year each. Or maybe, I think it's something like 2 years each. But if you plead, and you tattle on your friend and he doesn't plead, you'll get 1 year. To make this a little better. He's going to be in that red and green here, okay? So player one, player two, plead, no plead. So if you don't plead player one, you're going to get 2, he's going to get 2. But if you plead guilty and he doesn't, you get 1 year, he gets 10, okay? And if you both plead guilty, you get, These are not, oh, that's why. Okay. Sorry about that. So you'll get 1, you'll get 10. If you both plead, you get 5